It is the Corner Booth pregame show here on KORN News Radio. I'm Travis Kriens. We got Marcus Traxler. We have Landon Dierks. We'll be with you each and every week here an hour before Mitchell football. It's the second half of our high school football preview last week. If you didn't hear it, you can go back and listen to 11B and 9-man. We looked at some of our area teams. We'll recap the last week and plus look at the Mitchell Kernels. Kickoff at 7 o'clock tonight versus the Brookings Bobcats. We'll look at the rest of AA, AAA, 11A. We'll talk some college football as well.
And you should go back and listen to last week because, as Marcus said off air, his official review, not that bad.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. We wrapped up the amateur baseball tournament, if you're interested in that. And I didn't do the poll, but I said I think Parkson's going undefeated, and I like certain other teams to
at
do well.
At least you made a few predictions.
And I'll make a couple predictions today. I'm Pier not losing a game this year. So first week,
really stepping
it up. All those people that were voting Pier 4 and 5 last year.
It's different.
Ridiculous.
It's different now.
It's different.
And also that limb is pretty strong. We'll talk about it when we get to that point. Well,
somebody said no. Sturgis still with that one first place vote. Last week, week 0, we were both in Wagner. Landon. Wagner picked up a 26-0 win versus Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central. Since we were both there, good offensive showing, at least by the quarterback, Michael Kopel. He had over 200 yards rushing, a lot of that in the third quarter. Your impressions, two area teams. It was 13-6 last year. Bucks win. Looks like they've got some work to do on both ends of the ball, but at least a good start for Wagner and another Kopel here at quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's a really positive sign. They came off, obviously, a great season a year ago, but when you lose the 11B, all-state quarterback, and he was also, the All-American of that class, for what it's worth, and Gannon Naval, there's just going to naturally be some question marks there. But, I mean, it feels like Michael Kopel has stepped in there and, has a grasp of what's going on. Obviously did a lot of damage with his legs. I think the passing part will come as the season goes on. What I was really impressed with, and I think the biggest difference maker for the Red Raiders was, and what made them good a year ago, and I think they had lost enough linemen that it was a question mark coming in for me, was can they maintain the level of physicality that it takes to win at a consistent level in 11B, and they were very physical, I thought, up front against Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central, and that's going to be a recipe for success. I mean, if you are a physical team on the line of scrimmage week in and week out, I mean, you're going to win some games because you're going to be able to stop the run, and you're probably going to be able to run the ball yourself. That's where it starts. Wagner ran for probably 300 some odd yards, and the Bucks, unfortunately, had about 20 yards offense in the game.
Had about 70 yards, had a bunch of penalties, pushed them back. Yeah. So, struggles there for Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central. Maybe a segment, remind me at the end, a weekly segment, I hope. I'm going to grade the press box, the locations, everything with Wagner. First time going to Wagner, so we'll grade that.
Right after the upgrades. They just upgraded all of their...
So you would think, very good grade, and they'll have a very good grade. So good, in fact, I don't think it's going to be topped. Looking at my schedule the rest of this high school football season, I'd be stunned if I'm not going to Douglas. So
you don't enjoy sharing the close quarters with me at Joe Q?
That's all. I mean, that's probably that'll be in the top half.
Really? So
Wagner press box, very good, 26-0 win. Wagner at Hot Springs, long trip, good test for them coming up here on Friday. A surprise in 11B. McCook Central Montrose. They gave number 1 Elk Point Jefferson a game. EPJ wins 28-13. We talked about the tough schedule for McCook Central Montrose. They got dual this week, so it doesn't get much easier. But I thought really good showing for MCM, keeping track of that game. They were in it pretty much the entire way into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they had some misfortune at one stage in the fourth quarter. Drove down, had a fumble. Elk Point Jefferson gets the ball. They have a 97-yard rushing touchdown to sort of break the back there in midway through the fourth quarter. And, I think MCM probably not going to be the highest scoring offense, but they run their scheme. They do a good job controlling the ball, and they have a lot of different options on the ground, that sort of thing. They also, EPJ had a pick 6 in the first half that, you take that out, that would be, ends up being a game-changing play. So I think it was an encouraging season opener when you know that I think we all agree Elk Point Jefferson's going to be a top 2-3 team in this class. Dual, that's going to be a tough matchup. They have that one at home again, though, against Salem this week. I would not be surprised if MCM wins that game. But, I mean, very challenging first 3 games, and then they still have Clark-Willow Lake later in the season.
Got Sioux Valley in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So really, those first 3 games you're playing 3 top 5 teams. So maybe a team that doesn't win a lot, but if they can get in the playoffs, people are going to be saying, hey, 3-5, this is a pretty good team.
Well, we were all privy to the preseason straw poll of coaches and whatnot, and it seemed like coaches were pretty high on what MCM could be after they didn't really lose a lot to graduation after last year, and that first week is seemingly a really good sign that they're on the come up and they could be really competitive this year.
Dual won their first game 22-6 over Parker Marion, so this might be kind of a similar game where first team to 21 or 28 is going to win the game. So I think that bodes well for MCM to maybe be in this contest. And then, as you said, they play Sioux Valley, but there's a bye week in the middle there, so it's not. At least you get a chance to maybe kind of reassess where you're at and take stock. And then,
so that Sioux Valley game's week 4?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you can win one of those against those top 5 teams, that'd be
a big boost.
You got Woonsocket later in the year. So yeah, good first impression for McCook Central Montrose. Winner at 3. Again, we talked about last year. It was the lack of offense, lack of scoring for Winner, and it was 12-0. They do beat Hot Springs, but again, it looked like you're going to score when you're going to play some of these top teams. Can you score? And this was a 0-0 game, 6-0 game for quite some time. So you get the victory, but Winner, again, your offense, at least week 1, you're still wondering, where's that offense coming from?
Yeah, and it definitely could still change going forward. Like you said, it's the first game of the season.
Good opponents.
Decent opponent.
And let's not discount the fact that Hot Springs is usually pretty decent.
Usually pretty solid, and I think we'll learn more. You're going to hear this a gazillion times between now and mid-September, whether it's high school, college, or pros, biggest jump between week 1 and week 2. So we'll see if there's progress made from some of these other teams. But to me, it did kind of look like last year, just a lot of on the ground, control the ball, not probably the most high-powered offense there's going to be. They didn't hit those big runs that we've sometimes seen from Winter in the past. But I will give Winter a lot of credit. You shut out a team in your very first game. That shows your defense is kind of ready to rock. So that's a good sign. And, if you're playing defense like that, you're going to have a chance.
Admittedly, didn't see any of that game, so I don't know for sure. I'd have to go back and watch, but in case it wasn't said, also maybe just some, working out of the kinks, some operational things when you're in the first game under a new coach. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong, and to Winter's credit, it really didn't. I mean, again, when you shut out a team and you get the dub, yeah, that's a good thing.
It cuts both ways because they were definitely running the offense that Winter's always ran.
Of course.
We expected that. We don't expect any philosophy change, but there's definitely something to
different voices on the headset,
new coach, a lot of new personnel. It seemed like guys in different places, and so all that's going to be a factor. I think Winter being ranked number 3 is a little high to start the season, but could they be a top 3 team by the end of the season? Sure. So we'll see where things go.
Oh, we saw how it was last year. Dangerous until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Vernon Plankington loses to Beersford 40-8. They will host Mobridge Pollock coming up on Friday.
I also want to add, this is going to be just a standard stipulation. I watch pieces of like 6 games, so I don't catch the whole picture, from the office, on a Friday night when everything's busy. So if I speak out of turn, that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, Trav, you outed me. I was in Wagner for a half.
Yeah, you were.
I was also in Tyndall for a half of the Bond home game before that, and so I was running around, listening to games on the radio too. So I caught a piece of a lot of games and maybe not the whole picture on any of them.
You were listening to some Sean and Travis?
Yeah, some Sean and Trav.
Good
duo.
Good. 9AA at Parkston over Hill City, 54-24. Game was not that close. Mason Jervik had 3 first half touchdowns. They were up over 40 points at one point. So credit Hill City for wanting this game.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And Hill City, they didn't just pack it in, get 50. I'll give them credit for that. But yeah, it was a 46-0 game or whatever it was at one stage. So I think for Parkston to go all the way out west and win that first game pretty convincingly, good sign of things to come. They play Platte Geddes this week. That's going to be, I think, a game we're all going to keep an eye on.
Circle that one.
Circle it. So
that's our Q1073 game of the week.
Rightfully
game of the week
so.
on the radio, and probably your game of the week in 9-man. Platte Geddes defeats Strip Delmont Armor Andy Central Dakota Christian 43-8.
I'll spin something positive for Hill City. They hit the 40-yard field goal, or
39
thereabouts.
Yep.
Maybe we're going to see some real good kicking in 9-man, because did you see the clip from Warner's practice this week where I think a kid hit from 52?
Line it up.
Let's
do the extra points first. Get those extra points figured out. Then let's line it up for maybe 40.
I think if it's in 9-man, and you're outside the 20-yard line, it's got to be worth 4. Like, honestly, if Warner's got a guy making a 50-yarder, shouldn't that be worth more than 3 points?
Yeah. For every increment of 10 you go back, it should be worth 1. So like 50 pluses, we count that as 5.
That's like a touchdown.
We count that as 5.
The one upset, bit of a surprise. Castlewood beat Hamlin 46-34. Castlewood, a top 5 team in 9A.
And was it that close? I thought I was paying attention to that score, and Castlewood was scores. Up pretty big most of the game.
So Hamlin at number 2, expected to do something in AA, but you look at this score and it's like, well, maybe it'll be a while, but good win for Castlewood to knock off the number 2 team in 9AA.
We always talk about how you come off the amateur tournament and you go right into football season, and this was one of the teams I heard about that Castlewood has improved a lot, that they were looked at as a team that might be a factor this season. So I wasn't totally stunned. I mean, Hamlin lost a decent chunk
the intel
last season as well. Coming into this year, I still think Hamlin's going to be a top 5 team all year.
I mean, they've been right there.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for them to drop off. But to me, this is like, as we've seen in the past, when a Howard would beat a team in 9AA. Like, these things happen sometimes when the team is exceptionally good in 9A.
And Bonhomme beat Stanley County 48-0, so good start for them. You saw the end of that contest.
The beginning. It was a 5 o'clock kick.
So
you
were there first, and then Wagner.
Yes, and then I went to Wagner after.
Okay.
Yes, so really impressive. Bonhomme, they were on it from the jump.
How those jerseys look.
I just love the red and the baby blue is nice. And man, they're big up front, especially the guy who plays center and nose tackle for him. Chuka's the last name. He just felt like all over the place. Obviously they have 5-6 guys they can hand the ball to that got it done. Yeah, they're going to be dangerous. Now that they were good a year ago, just not quite on the level of the Freemans and the Parkstons and the really top dogs in 9AA. I think they're going to be right there. Having seen what I've seen, I mean, they have all the pieces that you'd look for in like a championship caliber team.
They are really interesting when you look at their schedule now. They play Gregory, Scotland Meadow, Garrettson, Sioux Falls Lutheran. I think they're favored to win all those. Last 3 games at Kimball White Lake, at Parkston, host Platte Geddes.
That's wow.
Hello.
So we are going to learn a lot there, and then there's a bye between that Parkston and Platte Geddes game, but we will learn a lot. I mean, I think Bonhomme is very good. What I saw just watching the stream seems like they're very solid, and but we're all going to be watching those last 3 games where
I like Parkston, Platte, Bonhomme. They're all going to play each other,
and they're all in the same conference. So
they're all good, so it's like this is good.
And Kimball White Lake's in that league. I think Kimball White Lake's going to be very solid this year as well.
We can pretty much book it right now. That there's a world, I guess, in which there's kind of a round robin effect, and they all go 1-1 against each other, or something like that. But if there's a world in which one of those 3 teams, those 9AA teams, Platte, Bonham, Parkston, if one of them goes 0-2 in that triangle, that's going to be the most dangerous 2-loss team you've ever seen in the playoff bracket. That's probably going to be like a 7 to a 9 seed. It's like no one's going to want to play them. They're going to be a really good 2-loss team.
And Viborg Hurley over Bridgewater Emory 8th 22-8. So Bridgewater falls out of the poll, and their introduction to 9-man, tough loss for them to start the year.
It seemed like they had a bunch of missed opportunities from what I gathered in that game. They had a fumble, they had a failed 4th down. I think Viborg Hurley, when they sent in the stats, said they stopped the Seahawks twice inside the 5. I mean, so just one of those things where kind of a hard lesson learned in the first game for BE, when you're not able to cash in those scoring opportunities. And they kept Viborg Hurley off the scoreboard for a lot of the game, but then, the Cougars were able to find some big plays in the second half.
Voodoo of having to go up against a team opening their new turf.
It's tough.
Corner booth, here we have Mitchell football coming up here at 7 o'clock versus Brookings. 9A last week, Freeman 36-17. They beat Alcester Hudson. Howard over to Smith 54-22. Top 2 teams in 9A. They win. Colt Becker had 184 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 58-yard touchdown reception. So Freeman and Howard, I think, are the class of this class. They get wins here, and Freeman now back to the Freeman Flyers. Pick up a good win.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see both those teams start the season on the right foot, and so that'll be, I think, one of the major storylines in this division. Maybe you're going to get to it. Kimball White Lake started very nicely against Gregory, and so just to close the loop with what we just talked about, Kimball White Lake plays Parkston, Bonhomme, Platte Geddes 3 weeks in a row. Right in a row, they have Bonhomme at home, and then the other 2 are on the road. So that's going to be a very tough stretch. Yeah. I think they are going to have a chance to really prove themselves as one of the top teams.
The schedule maker's cooked with that one.
Yeah, those are going to be three tough matchups in a row.
I don't know if no one's a fan of the Jets, but I gotta love the Flyers, like that Jets style of decal with the wing over top of the word mark. Just love it.
Yeah, I like that they have. It's just simple. It's right on the helmet. Looks good.
Clean.
I did come through Freeman the other day, and of course they go the first few weeks without playing at home because they're renovating their stadium. Yep. They moved the grandstand to the other side of the field. They have a press box. It's on the ground right now, so hopefully that's getting installed in the next couple of weeks. But they've got the press box and then they have the roof on top. That's good to have the space.
Elkton Lake Benton beat Canastota 28-0. They're ranked third. Kimball White Lake with that 48-8 win over Gregory. We mentioned Canastota knocking off Hamlin. Then Corsica Stickney beat Burke 64-13.
Castlewood beat Hamlin.
Castlewood beat Hamlin, yes. And then in 9B, Avon.
Corsica, we shouldn't probably just breeze over that. That felt like a pretty standout performance. I didn't maybe know if Corsica was going to be quite like that. And certainly Burke is a young team, a lot of pieces that are growing into place. I think Burke might be good, down the road, maybe even toward the end of this season, but certainly in years moving forward. But Corsica might be a more of a force than I gave them credit for in 9A this season.
One interesting game this week, Corsica Stickney going to Lyman. Both those teams, the winner's going to be 2-0 after that game, and Lyman had a big win against New Underwood in the first week, so interested to see who comes out on top in that one.
And the 9B had Avon over Scotland Menno 50-0. The other big one, other than the Hamlin Castlewood game, was that Wall Bennett County game, the last game of the night to get wrapped up, and Wall pulls it out 40-32. So Wall gets by their preseason number 2 in 9B as they move down a class.
We had a very weird Friday in terms of the weather because some places were halted. Their games were halted because of weather. Wall Bennett County was halted. I don't know if it was because of the weather necessarily, because obviously they're way out west.
I think there was a late kick.
I think it started at 8 our time, I think. But Bennett County, boy, they were right there. They were up 2 scores with 5 or 6 minutes to go. Slipped away. Wall did some Wall things in the final minutes of the game, and boy, that might have been the best chance Wall was going to have to get knocked off this season.
I don't want to call it a choke, but
that was tough.
Because I like our friends out in Bennett County.
I don't like to use that word when we're talking about high schoolers. I mean, too, that's tough to put, but it slipped away.
It was right. It felt like it was there for the taking. They controlled the game for the first 3 quarters plus. Was it 26-6 at one point?
It was 26-6. That was in the third quarter.
Late in the third quarter, 26-6, and you think, Bennett County's going to do this, and yeah, I mean. Rabbit out of the hat type stuff, and you score in the last minute to win it. I mean, that's what good teams do, right? Marcus's prediction of 2 teams on 23-game win streaks going to the Dome in 9B was, teetering on the razor's edge there for a second, but it is still alive. I tend to think that maybe that was a wake up call of sorts, if you want to call it that, for Wall. They'll probably be more steady moving forward. They're not going to be a half-to-half type of team like we saw, but man, you can't help but feel for the Warriors that they had a prime opportunity to beat what I would assume they probably consider somewhat of a rival slip away.
And Bennett County, to be fair, they've had a lot of success in the other sports, but kind of new to the big stage in football, so that might have been part of the thing there. It's just interesting to think about Wall's schedule because they do play 3 weeks in a row in September, Harding County Bison, Lyman, and Phillip. Now, are maybe a few of those games a little closer now because Bennett County challenged them? I tend to agree with Landon. I think Wall's going to find another gear here as the season goes on.
Good week on paper. You have Howard at Castlewood. You have Hanson hosting Viborg Hurley. We mentioned MCM versus Dual. So Freeman, they moved to go to Chester. They're playing at Madison Stadium.
Yes, Dakota State. Yep.
Dakota State Stadium. So on paper, and then Wagner at Hot Springs, some games to kind of look forward to here tonight.
Absolutely. And I think I'm just thinking about if I can hit both Salem and Hanson. They both start at 7. That we'll see. We'll see what happens. But just some really interesting games, and a lot of those games being kind of Mitchell area teams against somebody from out of the area. So what happens in that scenario when you face somebody that you maybe are a little bit less familiar with, maybe a team that you haven't faced in a little while. I can't think of Howard playing Castlewood in the past, so I think that's going to be just an interesting matchup to see here on Friday night.
After last week, just with the Castlewood win, that
it's a big one.
All of a sudden if it didn't have your attention before, it has it now.
It is the KORNer booth. We do have Mitchell football coming up here at 7 o'clock. Shawn Michaels will have the call tonight. We'll preview Mitchell, AA, AAA, and 11A, including a rematch from one of last year's championship games here between Sioux Falls Christian and Lennox. You're listening to the KORNer booth. It is brought to you by Jimmy John's in Mitchell.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
You're listening to the KORNer Booth pregame show here on KORN. Travis, Marcus, and Landon, we get to our preview of Mitchell football. Mitchell football looking for wins, looking to make the playoffs here as they start their season. 7 o'clock tonight versus Brookings. They were more competitive last year, but back-to-back one-win seasons for Mitchell. They beat Douglas these last 2 years, so I guess the question is, can you beat anybody besides Douglas? They went to overtime versus T last year. 26-20 at home, and then they also lost at Aberdeen just by 15 points, 28-13. So those were their two other close losses. They lost to Huron 2 years ago, 29-26, near the end of the regular season. So they've had 3 competitive losses over the last couple of years. So they think they can maybe 2-3 wins is going to take at least 3 wins to break that middle portion of AA. Landon. You look at the Douglas game. Are there any games that Mitchell can win this year? What are those games that you feel like, if they're going to be good, they're probably going to have a shot in these games?
Well, games that you have to consider winnable if you're going to take that next step. I think it starts here right away with Brookings. I mean, Brookings was a team that was right at 500 a year ago. And if Mitchell wants to be in that realm of, a close to 500 football team, they have to be able to win games against other teams of that ilk. So I think it starts right here, and there's several others, going down the schedule.
Last team they beat other than Douglas was Brookings at the end of the regular season in 2023. That was 28-0. So 2 wins versus Douglas, and you beat Brookings. So you went 3-7 in 2021. So you've won 4 straight seasons of 2 wins or less. So it's probably going to take at least 3 to even threaten the playoffs here.
3 wins to probably feel good about your playoff chances. I mean, 2 wins might get you in some years, might not. Hard to say, especially since, as we're going to talk about, the schedule's a little bit more unbalanced than they have been, or I guess maybe you could argue that they are more balanced. I'm not sure, but
it's very convoluted.
We're going to talk about it. Brookings, I mean, I agree. I think they graduated a lot. It's certainly a chance for Mitchell to get a win here right off the bat. And more than anything, you just want to see Mitchell, if possible, show that they're able to finish the drives and the things that were kind of just a big impediment last season. That'd be the biggest thing I want to see, regardless of maybe even if you win. It's like, can you put up 28 points? That'd be great. And so that's one thing I'm watching. But you look at the schedule, much like last year, it's, can you get something done in the first 4 games? Because you got Brookings, Spearfish, Douglas, Aberdeen Central. And Spearfish and Aberdeen Central, I don't know how good they're going to be. We think Spearfish might be decent. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be a tough game. It's out in Spearfish, of course, like it seems like it is every year now. And then
they must have like a 3-1 agreement.
Yeah. And then the last 5 games are all against teams that are either ranked in 11A or 11AA, except for Watertown. And Watertown, I would expect to be right around the top 5 all season. So that would seem to point to, let's get some things done early in the season. However, we have to acknowledge, like, Mitchell was given a benefit by not having to play Pierre and not having to play Yankton. So they are in a better position than a lot of the other teams in this class. And so it would be nice if Mitchell was able to find a way to take advantage of that. But everything's going to be, I don't know, we're going to learn a lot after these first couple games.
You don't have to play a AAA team. You get to play West Central, still a good opponent, and still an opponent that you're going to have to play well to beat them. So that's certainly not a gimme. But yeah, if you don't go at least 2-2 in these first 4, it's a tough final 5 weeks. You see what Huron is at the end of the season. But yeah, if you're looking at least 3 wins, you're going to beat Douglas, and then it's, can you knock off Aberdeen? How competitive are you with Brookings tonight? Can you be more competitive with Spearfish that long trip next weekend? So, yeah, like Marcus said, you got to win at least a couple here. 3-1 would be great, but 2-2 almost seems like a have to if you have any hope of breaking this playoff drought.
I agree.
I agree as well. Marcus hinted at the offensive side of things. A year ago, I mean, I'm not going to say really, really good on offense, but certainly much improved from the year before. It came down to some breakdowns in the red zone. And I haven't gone back and looked at how many empty red zone trips there were, but there were a lot. Mm-hmm. And if Mitchell scores on some of them, they have some more competitive games. On the other side of the ball or another phase, special teams breakdowns cost them a lot of points a year ago. If you can clean those two areas up, increase your red zone efficiency, and not have so many special teams gaffes, I mean, you're going to be more competitive in a lot of these games.
And also, this is going to be the Captain Obvious statement of the week, but it felt like every turnover last year they had was just a backbreaker. At the worst possible time, the other team scored on it. It just never seemed like, if it wasn't just they fumbled it, they fumbled and got ran back 80 yards. So, possessing the ball, avoiding penalties, all those sorts of things will be important. And I think, I know we talked about it last year, but we expect Mitchell to be a little bit more improved on the up front, offensive line, defensive line. And I think if they are, that just sets the table for them to have a little bit more success. I don't want to say I'm not worried about the skill position players, but I think Mitchell's got some skill players that they can.
Mitchell's got athletes.
And I think they can figure that part out. And so it's just, can they put it all together? And you saw moments of Mitchell trying to manage the game, trying to do kind of the right thing schematically last season, and sometimes it just went south on them. And so if they're able to do that this season and not have some of those backbreaking, plays, you got to think they're going to be better off.
The last 2 minutes of halves, the first half was just a disaster.
Yeah. I've
never seen a team just the last 2 minutes of a half, just big plays. Third and 20, third and 25. You need to stop. The Aberdeen game sticks out. There was 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of that one. And that was the game.
I was going to say, Spearfish, right?
Yeah,
they had the long touchdown on third down or fourth down, and then the punt return.
Last play of the half. It's like, don't give up the big punt return. Don't give up the big 50-yard pass. And that happened more than once last year. So Mason Kemp at running back, Brady Hazing quarterback. Line should be good. You have Rocky Clark. He's your all-state type of guy. Division I offers. You have Briar Stock, you have Owen Kaufman. So, I mean, if they're going to be good, they're going to be good at running the ball, and they had a pretty diversified running game. They had 4 or 5 guys you could go to last year. So maybe they have that one main guy. It's that Mason Kemp or somebody else. But, I mean, you got some talent on the offensive line, and if they're going to be good, they got to run the ball, and the ingredients are there for that to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about Owen Shelsky at left tackle, and I would anticipate Briar Stack being at left guard, probably. And then Owen Kaufman was your center last year. I would expect that to be the same. The left side of the line should definitely be a strength. Traditionally, Rocky Clark has only played defense. I would be interested to see if they put him at guard or tackle, because I mean, he's a big man who can move with this, the counters and the powers and stuff that they want to run in the run game. His mobility can really be an asset. I mean, get a guy that big on the move and, let him go hit somebody. I think that could be a nice element for Mitchell's offense and help clear out some space for, a group of playmakers who is mostly unproven. And one thing that Mitchell had, I would say, problems with a year ago was hitting the home run. I know we're not playing baseball, but they couldn't really break off huge plays. That was kind of why the offense stalled when it got into the tight areas, is because they couldn't break off these 25, 30, or even bigger yard runs with any sort of consistency. It was a lot of 6 to 8 yard runs, and that's well and good up until the yards are much harder to come by. So, but I guess that stemmed from Travis's point that they should be big up front, or they should be good up front. It's because they're huge. I mean, you go to practice, and I've been there a couple times. Just it seems like they got a lot of size up front, more so than they've had in several years, and that I would expect that to be a really big strength. And if it's not, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of the eternal struggle I always think about with Mitchell, because you're a big enough school that you don't really want to play your guys both ways if you can help it, but you got a guy who might be able to contribute on both sides of the ball. You have to at least think about it. You're not an 11 AAA school where you can just line change your offense and defensive lines out. And so I think it's going to be one of the big questions. To just see, how effective can they be up front? I think they have a great chance to be potentially on both sides of the ball if things work out well, but we'll have to see.
I mean, you've got a pair of, potential future FCS linemen there with Owen Shelsky still a couple years away, and Rocky Clark's got numerous offers. He's waiting on SDSU to make it official. He's got Western Michigan.
How about that?
Of all team, like, how did Western Michigan get a hold of you? He's like, well,
because they're the best team in the MAC.
It's the internet. It's the internet.
It's the internet era.
So, Brookings, the opponent here coming up at 7:00. The rest of AA, Pierre beat Yankton last year, 56-35. A lot of points in that championship game. I think Pierre goes undefeated. They play Yankton, their second game of the year at Yankton. I think that's the only shot they have of losing a regular season game. Jaron Deal at quarterback. He's a junior. They got Porter Hunsley.
He was the one who just broke out of nowhere last year.
He was a sophomore. What was wrong with Pierre? They lost 3 games. What was wrong? They put the sophomore in at quarterback. And
wasn't he starting at wide receiver, or he's a third string wide receiver?
And their season completely changed with him as quarterback. And then they're Pierre again. Hunsley, he's only a junior at running back, so you're going to have those two. They had huge second halves and huge championship games.
Absolutely.
Receiver, Cardinal Scheffelbein, he's a receiver. He's outstanding. Special teams, one of the best receivers in the state. So, I mean, you got three guys there at the 3 key positions. Plus, Terwilliger as well at tight end. You got a Division I tight end. So
he's going to play in the Big Ten.
He's going to go to Penn State.
Yeah.
24 seniors returning. So I think, they've dominated this class for almost a decade right now, and I think they just roll over everybody. If Yankton can't be competitive next week, I don't see anybody that's going to stop them from scoring 40, 50 per game.
Let me just check here real quick. Yep. Steve Steele's still a coach, and that means Pierre's going to the Dome.
Like these last 2 years were your year to get them, man. They barely lose to Watertown 2 years ago. It was their worst year in a decade, and Watertown almost let that slip away. And if they don't do that, I mean, you're talking 8, 10, 12 years here potentially, and Huron's at 2. They've got T this week. That's a 2 versus 4 matchup. Yankton's at 3. Sturgis is at 5. We saw that number 5 spot was just a lot of movement between. I think Aberdeen was there for a week, and Sturgis and Spearfish and Brookings. So I like Pierre at 1. I like Yankton at 2. T and maybe a West River team at 3 and 4. But yeah, I think Pierre, of all the teams and all the classes, I think they're the most dominant, I think, heading into this season.
I agree. I think this is Pierre's season. Their season to lose. I think they're just completely loaded. They have obviously great coaching, great talent, and I don't think any other team in this class is on their level. So that could change. Injuries could impact things. We could see one of these other teams emerge. But I think to start things out, I think Pierre is a pretty heavy favorite, and I would agree, probably more heavy favorite than any other class. I do like. I mentioned last week I like Huron. We'll see how they do against T, a team that I also think is going to be much improved this season. And then Spearfish is the other team. Maybe I think Yankton's probably going to get very little talk until we see them on the field and play a team like a Pierre. But I think Spearfish, just because they bring back their quarterback and a wide receiver, I think they have a good chance to put some things together if you're looking for that West River team that might make an impact.
Sturgis and Huron were the other 2 semifinalists.
Yeah.
You had Pierre and Yankton, and then you had Sturgis beat Watertown in that first round matchup, and then Huron 7-2 over Brookings. Yankton has lost to Pierre 4 straight times to end the season. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a championship, whether it's a semifinal, 4 straight years, Pierre has ended Yankton season.
It's because they're like the 2 standard bearers. If Pierre didn't exist, Yankton would have a lot of titles here in this.
This run.
He's emotional about it.
Yeah. In this 10-year stretch. I mean, I think that's, what happened to me, man? But I don't think that's controversial to say. I mean, Yankton's been a really good football team for most of this run. It just happens that Pierre's been better, and last year was another case of it.
And I mean, I think Yankton will be motivated. I think they'll probably give it, all they can, but I think Pierre's just that good. Yeah. And that's the problem this year in this class.
Then you have, yes.
Where are you going next?
What's your schedule? What's the schedule here? Because Mitchell thankfully doesn't play a AAA.
Yeah.
They don't play Jefferson or Brandon Valley. They get to play West Central, which is good. That's a very competitive matchup. What do we have here as far as who's playing a AAA, who is not, who's playing a Class A team here this year?
Boy, it was exciting when Marcus and I went through this and tried to figure out who was playing who.
We had a revelation because we're looking at it like, okay, well, Mitchell plays an 11A team.
Is there any rhyme or reason to any of this?
That must mean more 11 AA teams are playing 11A teams. No.
Not really. Mitchell plays West Central. Brookings plays Sioux Falls Christian. And then Douglas plays 3 11A teams. Now, I don't think we can really argue with why should Douglas be playing more.
I like all of that. Yeah. I like that it's Sioux Falls Christian and Brookings.
Yeah.
I think Sioux Falls Christian probably wins that game.
But Aberdeen doesn't. Huron doesn't. Pierre doesn't. Spearfish doesn't. Sturgis doesn't. Then you have a few that do play AAA teams. I thought we were getting rid of that. We're not. I think because of the Nebraska thing, now you have some teams.
It's only like metro schools that get to play it, right?
They would be short. So you've got Watertown playing O'Gorman. You got T playing Roosevelt. Spearfish plays Stevens, Sturgis plays Rapid City Central. So it's interesting just kind of some teams are playing 11A teams, some teams aren't. You got 5 teams in the middle that are playing all 11 AA schedules. And I guess I don't have Yankton on here.
And Huron never plays a AAA.
I can look for you.
Right. And
as they said, we will not show up.
Huron doesn't play a AAA team.
All those matchups, even Watertown, O'Gorman, I think all of them, whether 10 of them there, I think they're all good on paper competitive games.
Yankton is all
yeah.
So every crossover game I think is good. If not, the team in the lower class I think is probably going to win more of those games. I like that.
So my question here is: was Mitchell's recent struggles taken into account to give them an 11A team, and was Douglas's struggles taken into account to give them 3 11A teams?
Hopefully.
I don't know. And that's one of the things we kind of set out to find out at some point this season. But I just think it's just going to be very interesting. They used to try to have everybody play AAA team. Then for a while they had everybody playing an 11A team. Now they're kind of just trying to split the baby a little bit and try to have tailor it a little bit. And I mean, you look at Mitchell's recent seasons. I think it makes sense that they don't play two of the best teams in this class and then play an 11A team. That's not going to be an easy matchup. West Central's going to be very solid. So it's not like Mitchell's picking up a win from that, but I just think if there was some discretion, placed on this, I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing. Although, as we've talked about, like what is the standard? Is that being applied consistently? I can't answer that part.
Yeah, they haven't really come out and said, here's what we're doing and why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So it seems to be, at the face of it, so yes. Good teams play good teams. Bad teams play teams
somebody
from the lower
else.
class.
Yeah.
So, Mitchell's had 6 wins in 4 years. So that's good to see. We'll keep an eye on who wins those cross-class matchups. In 11A, you have Sioux Falls Christian and Lennox. They play tonight. That was your championship. Really good game. Sioux Falls Christian pulls it out 28-24 last year. West Central and Del Rapids, your other semifinalists, and those are your top 4 preseason teams. Madison at 5. Sioux Falls Christian, your unanimous preseason number 1. And I guess we'll see here week 1, Lennox and Sioux Falls Christian, who the number 1 team is. And Sioux Falls Christian, again, they were undefeated last year.
Yeah, and I think Sioux Falls Christian's going to be a pretty clear favorite in this class again. We're going to have to see. As we've talked about, this is probably the one class we see the least of over the course of the season, but Lennox has gotten to the point where they've built a pretty consistent program. I think Madison's going to make a little bit of a bounce back this season. I don't know as much about Del Rapids. I don't know as much about West Central. Obviously, we're going to learn about them later in the season as they get ready to be on Mitchell's schedule, but I'm really interested to see where things go in Madison. Del Rapids do play on Friday night here to start their season, so that might be a kind of a proving ground game. You've also got Dakota Valley, always a factor. They play West Central here in week 1.
You'd have some really intriguing matchups, like, if you were to bump Pierre up and if you were to bump Sioux Falls Christian up, the 2 champions.
Yeah.
Like 11 AA would be really interesting. If you get Pierre out of there and put Sioux Falls Christian in there instead, I think that'd maybe be the most interesting class. Then how would Pierre do against the AAA teams? Brandon Valley in AAA, they won it last year. They beat Sioux Falls Lincoln, really good championship game, 34-27. Lincoln at 1 this year, Brandon Valley at 2, Jefferson at 3, Harrisburg and O'Gorman at 4 and 5. So I guess Sioux Falls Lincoln as a favorite. Can you win a title, whether it be basketball, whether it be football? Can you win a title? It's been a struggle here the past year to 2 for Lincoln being that favorite in AAA, closing the door because they've come up as short as you can be, reaching championship games here multiple times and, coming a touchdown short or a point short here or there.
I wanted to make sure there was a clean cut so that when Lincoln uses that
yeah, Lincoln, let's
when
go.
they use that in their season montage, they can play Travis's comments of can't ever win the big one right at the top. I mean, they are going to be, I think, a pretty clear favorite in this class as well. Brody Schaefer, right, the standout quarterback. You know, maybe your preseason statewide, player of the year if you were going to put one down.
Your Pedialyte player of the year.
So
they changed sponsors.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Jefferson, I think, is a team that people expect to be kind of hanging around, but Brandon Valley graduated a lot. Are they a team that can, rebuild quickly? Harrisburg, when you've got 130 players on your roster, that always gives you, a little bit of an advantage. So we'll see where things end up, but I think Lincoln is probably the team that is going to be a pretty prohibitive favorite here, and it could be one of those things where 3-4 weeks in, we're like, oh, wow, yeah, it's very clear that Lincoln is going to be, a factor. They play O'Gorman in the first week.
Do you like Jefferson here, Landon?
I like Jefferson, as a concept, yes.
Speaking generally.
A lot of space out there on the side. They're developing.
No, if you told me I have to pick the champion, I'm not going to pick Jefferson. I'm going to pick Lincoln. Huh? But I think Jefferson might very well be the second best team in this class, and it might be by a little bit of a margin. Mm-hmm. I just think they bring back a fair amount from last year. I liked the direction they were trending at the end of last year. That's a good program. Obviously, not an old program, but they've just been, I feel like, fairly consistent during their time, and it seems like they're headed in a positive direction here. So I think that would probably be my state runner-up if I had to pick it here right from the jump. But I mean, when you have a playmaker of Brody Schaefer's caliber at quarterback, I mean, there is nothing that kid can't do on the football field, and that's got to just be frustrating as heck for opposing defenses and opposing coaching staffs to go against. I mean, he's been basically unstoppable for 2 years now, and I don't see a way that changes here as a senior. Mm-hmm. You know that Lincoln's going to have athletes around him to get the ball to. That's never a question. The question has been, can they stop other teams from scoring enough to beat them? And quite frankly, who knows? That might be the same this year, but when they score 45 points a game, you're going to win. You're going to win an awful lot of games. That's just what it is.
The Jefferson-Lincoln game, September 12th. That's President's Bowl Saturday, 5:00 at the Wood. And then circle that game. And then they have Brandon Valley and Harrisburg, final 2 games of the season. So it seems like the last couple of years they've all kind of been stacked at the end. We at least get a preview of maybe the matchup that we're all kind of looking for in the first few weeks of the season.
Boy, we've talked a lot about the end of the season, having the script makers.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them under the gun. We're gonna have to be like, yeah, was there some thumbs on the scales here? Are we trying to make this a TV show?
Play the good teams at the end. You've had Lincoln and Brandon Valley. They've been the best 2 teams last couple of years. Then you've had that second tier of Harrisburg and Jefferson and O'Gorman. Then you had the bottom tier. Washington has struggled. Roosevelt has been really bad here for a couple of years. And then you have the
Washington's
Rapid
been so weird. I feel like they've been competitive in some games that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be competitive in.
And they'll lose to then they'll lose to a Rapid City school. And then
so they've almost been in a tier of their own between the second and the bottom tier.
And we talk about I talk about the moving of the up and down. Douglas, let's move them all the way down here. These Rapid City schools, I mean, at what point does something need to be done here? You have 9 teams in AAA. You have Rapid City Stevens and you have Rapid City Central. Let me give you some.
Well, Travis, I think the time has passed for us to sell the Black Hills to Wyoming or something.
Let me give you some jaw droppers here. Obviously, second largest enrollment? Stevens, Central. I mean, they're in the top 3.
Second, yeah.
And Stevens is up there. It's Rapid City. Rapid City Central. They have lost 52 of their past 54 versus East River AAA. I think they've beaten Stevens these last 2 years. That's tough. Stevens, they've lost 31 straights versus East River AAA. That's 3 seasons worth. Their last win against the East River team, Washington, to begin the 2022 season. It's been 4 years since Rapid City Stevens has beaten anybody. They've got a couple wins versus Douglas in that stretch. Overall, Stevens has lost 19 in a row. So you've got a 9-team class. There's only really 7 teams that are competitive when certain teams, they haven't won many in the last 4 or 5 years. And nothing's going to change, and they're just going to keep these, keep these Rapid City schools up there, and they're going to be going 1-8 and 1-9 and 0-8 and 0-9, and I don't know.
Yeah, you asked if it's time or past time to
do something here.
Yes, but they're clearly not going to do anything. I've come to that.
I got an idea.
Realization.
7-man class, just all the Sioux Falls Metros. Seven teams. You play everybody, which they do. That would be 6. That'd be 6 games in your regular season. If you're going to play these Omaha teams or whoever, find an out-of-state game for 7. And then you play a 7-game regular season. Number 1 team gets a bye. Everybody else plays the first round of playoffs, and you go with 7 teams. Because Washington and Roosevelt have struggled, but it's hard to just be competitive with some of those top 2 teams. And Rapid City just has not done that.
Yeah, I think you'd be.
They're
better off to, or like you. It would be easier to execute once Harrisburg has its second high school.
Yeah. Then you get to 7 at least. You can have an 8-game regular season with a
because a 7. I don't know if a 7-game regular season is going to fly.
Because then your state champion, if they win, if they're the 1 seed, wins it, they played 9 games.
They played 9 games.
So that's just not. They're not going.
I want to reduce, the Brandon Valley versus Mitchell games.
I understand
the waste.
I understand where you're coming from. It's
like I'm fine with if you play 7, 8, 9 times, that's fine. Then having a wasted week.
And to be completely fair, that's why nothing's changed. There's no simple solution, that's going to make everybody happy. That's why we're still stuck with what we are. If there was an easier answer, they would have done it already. And I think getting in these Nebraska teams, it takes the pressure off of Mitchell or somebody from 11 AA having to play Brandon Valley and Harrisburg, because you can't look at the rosters, you can't look at the teams on the field and say they're the same level. They're just
right now. Rapid City, Stevens, and Central wouldn't be good in AA. They might not make the playoffs.
No,
they've lost to Sturgis. They've lost to Spearfield.
Absolutely,
and they're not better than those teams. So if you're not better than the 2 AA teams in the Black Hills, it's like
it's the same. It's the same situation we see at multiple levels, but because the schools are so big that if you bump them down any further, it feels like you would be like, even if immediately you weren't hamstringing the true members of that class, eventually maybe that would catch up and you'd have to reevaluate. And it's just not a situation that I think the SDHSA wants to go to. Because in a world in which they bump down the Rapid City schools and then the Rapid City schools figure it out,
then bump them up.
And then you're like doing it subjectively.
Yeah, where is the objective criteria to say this is why we're moving this team down? And they haven't come out and just said we're moving them down because of wins and losses. If they did do that, then you'd have other teams could apply for that as well. So that's why you haven't seen that happen.
As far as Douglas,
they're just scared to do it.
I think, did Douglas ask last year to be moved down? Is that what came out of that? Douglas asked and they said no.
They asked to be moved down, but they wanted to stay eligible for the playoffs. That was the...
Well, sure, give them, whatever. Sure, be eligible for 11.
I
whatever.
tend to agree with Trav, because I don't know if Douglas...
They wouldn't. They're so bad, they wouldn't.
I say that just to be the... But I agree with you.
To what Landon's saying.
Sure, be in the playoffs.
It's fine for this next couple of years, but whenever Douglas does get it figured out, then what's your rationale to move them back up? What is going to be the line that says we're moving them back up because they're too good? And I realize we're saying that might never happen, but you have to have something on paper saying this is the rationale why they moved down. This is the rationale why they're going back up.
Have a 4-year, make up a number. We're going to give you a 4-year period in 11A. Mm-hmm. Can you be competitive? And if you're winning 1 or 2 games, then you're not moving up. Pierre's never moving up. They're winning this thing. It's a decade long now of Pierre winning this, and Sioux Falls Christian, they seem like they are going to go on a bit of a run here, basketball and football, and those teams aren't moving up. So at the very least, let's move some teams down here just to, help the communities out.
I know it happens in like the 9-man divisions because just the lines on where the divisions get split are so fine that you have some ping ponging around. But I really don't think that. I don't think we've ever heard them outright say this, but I would anticipate that the Activities Association doesn't want a situation where a team just keeps pinging back and forth. Like if, Douglas went down to 11A in this hypothetical and they did whatever is enough to get back to 11 AA and then they're immediately not competitive again, then you keep smacking them back and forth between AA and single A, and I don't think that is a winning solution in the eyes of many.
I agree with what Travis is saying. Like, if you're going to do it, just say it's going to be for 4 years. It's going to be for 6 years. They're staying. It's going to be a trial run. But then again, who's deciding after 6 years is up whether you're staying or going down?
If you have a committee of whether it's coaches or administrators or whoever, it's like a special committee to say, okay, for competitive balance purposes,
But that's still going to be subjective. That's
it's got to be a subjective thing of, okay, I look at Rapid City Central, they've lost 52 of 54 versus
we've heard them
that's sufficient.
Discuss the success factor. We've heard and a lot of it I feel like has been talked. They do entertain both sides, but I think the focus goes on, who would we promote? What if, has it ever been just talked about from the other direction? Like the negative success factor, essentially?
Like Sioux Falls Lincoln girls basketball.
We're not ever going to move anybody up. We're not going to punish teams for being too good.
Move them down.
But if a team is struggling, there probably, should be a mechanism to...
I think that's where the discussion kind of centered, because I think there was less of an appetite to move up your peers and your Sioux Falls Christians.
Winner at the time.
It was more, how are we going to help out the teams at the bottom? But what I'm frustrated about is they still didn't come up with an idea or any sort of mechanism to do that. And my thing is, we talk about it, and we're going to let another 2 years go by, and you don't move them down. And it's like, well, you're not helping the Douglas problem. And to me, they're the number one. They're the one I feel.
It's such a special case,
too.
We
acknowledge I feel worse for them, though, more than I do Central and Stevens.
And
I understand that they've got issues, too, but it's just like, it's very clear that Douglas, it's not working. And they used to be an 11A team for a long time.
Yes.
So, and I realize that they're kind of a prisoner of their community growing and all that sort of stuff, but there's circumstances that make it tough for them to build up a program.
And O'Gorman is already AAA.
Because they want to be.
O'Gorman should be AA. So it's like we already have a team that's playing.
That's different.
Out of class.
No, that's different.
But Douglas wants to be 11A. They want to. They say, hey, please.
Again,
and they
it's
say
a situation
no.
where we don't.
And they ask O'Gorman, can we move up? And they say
there
yes.
isn't really a problem with wanting to challenge yourself upward.
Yeah.
And they should. O'Gorman should be AAA.
So then we don't.
It's like being a 16-year-old and competing in the college.
Like, why does O'Gorman get to go up, but Douglas doesn't?
Because they want to. O'Gorman wants to move up. That's why they're in AAA.
Douglas wants to move down.
That's not the same thing.
You can have a seventh.
They want to go down because they haven't won, in 5 years.
You can have a 7th grader play on the varsity. You can't have a senior play on the 8th grade team.
You can have an NFL player playing a college team.
You can.
All you need is a judge to say, hey,
proved that can happen.
25-year-old, let's suit up for Douglas. So those are your 11-man classes. We do have Mitchell football. And again, Mitchell, you know what? They haven't made the playoffs in a while. They'd be a candidate to move down. If you can't prove, if you haven't made the playoffs for 5 years, 6 years in an 11-man class, there's 11 teams, then that's consideration. And 11A, they only had 12 teams this year? 11A
down.
Yeah, they had two. They had two moved down. So, only 11 or 12 teams in 11A. So, plenty of Mitchell, plenty of discussions like that. We'll get to SDSU, USD. They start their season on Saturday. Plus, our college football playoff picks and other numbers-based analysis. For Marcus, for Landon, for Travis, it is the Corner Booth, brought to you by Jimmy John's.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
It is the Corner Booth Podcast, college football preview. We've got South Dakota State and USD starting on Saturday. We'll also get to some college football playoff picks. We do have SDSU on KORN yet again this year. The Hats of Stetson, they will be there 6 o'clock on Saturday. The lengthy pregame show starts at 4 o'clock. What do we know about South Dakota State? A lot of preseason expectations with Montana State, Montana and SDSU. I mean, one of those three teams, maybe two of the three, going to be in Nashville here in early January. And I would say SDSU, if everybody's healthy, I think they probably make it all the way to the FCS championship game. That is my prediction.
No, you're a homer.
If Chase Mason is healthy, I think they get that done.
And to be fair, that's a big question mark.
It's a very big question.
I mean, that's the track record would seem to indicate that he's going to be banged up at some point during the season.
Has he played 9 games in his career, something like that?
It's more than that, but
you sure?
He
started
9 games. Yeah, he's played more because he came in off the bench and had the special package in the past. But I think they are loaded. You know, they have a great chance of making a run. I think they are a clear favorite in the Missouri Valley. We'll have to see how things go. They're not going to be challenged as much in terms of FCS opponents in the first month of the season. They do play Northwestern. Maybe we'll get something out of that game. But, you know, you look at the teams in this conference, Missouri Valley, who are the teams, you know, it's probably SDSU, USD, Illinois State, maybe Youngstown, maybe UND. But
it's a lot of maybes of like, who is the second, third best team?
That's why you can put SDSU, I think, as a pretty clear number one. And they need to be healthy. They need to just be a lot more consistent. You saw a lot of the inconsistency in their team last year. So that's the one thing I'm looking to see. I've got a feature about the defensive line coming out this week, and they want to get back to we're playing 10 guys and we're rotating them. And so, you know, that's what they did when they were great. And if they're able to do that now, they're going to have so much of a better chance to have some success, national success at the end of the year.
Got receivers, ton of receivers, pretty deep.
I think
Lofton Ogroski and.
Yep. I think running back's going to be kind of by committee. Might as well have 2 or 3 guys carry the ball and keep some guys fresh. Yeah, the receiving core should be very solid, we think, and competitive as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out as well. Yeah,
Stetson and then Northwestern of the Big Ten, and then you have New Haven, Youngstown State, and then you've got Illinois or Eastern Illinois. So it's rough. It's, you know, Eastern Illinois is pretty bad. New Haven and Stetson are really bad. So again, if these are anything other than 40-point margins, that would be a surprise. And, you know, Youngstown State, we'll see how they do that first conference game, week 4. And then, you know, Northwestern next week. That'll be interesting. Certainly not among the best teams in the Big Ten. You get to see Griffin Wilde. So is this the last game at their temporary stadium?
I think I got one more after this.
Because they don't get to open up the new digs here until next month.
Penn State is the first game, and I want to say it's the very first week in October.
SDSU, USD, they have Central Connecticut State. They've got winnable games in their non-conference. They have Northern Colorado, Eastern Washington, pretty good. Boise State, really good. And then they also open up at Youngstown State. So it landed, I mean, you got to win these first 2 games here because the non-conference for the Coyotes much tougher here than the Jackrabbits.
Absolutely. I'm really interested to just see that game when they go up to Boise. I tend to think, and we'll get to this a little later, I suppose, that Boise's going to be very good. So I kind of don't expect USD to go up there and make maybe a ton of noise, but just going to be interesting to see them play on the blue and see what's good there. But I have a tough time really getting my hands around USD at this exact moment in time because we don't know who the quarterback is truly going to be. We've been led to believe certain things at certain times, and I don't know that we'll really know until they step on the field on Saturday. But that's obviously where it starts with every team. I think they'll be, you know, upper half of the valley, but
playoffs certainly not a certainty this year.
I would say maybe more likely than not, but not certain. How about that?
I agree. More likely. I think almost pretty likely would be my answer, but there's because of the questions, it's not a guarantee. It would be my answer to that. I mean, I think they're going to be very good. I think they're going to be very good defensively, and the running backs are really good. Wide receiver, a little bit more of a question mark. They got 1 or 2 guys that are kind of proven. Quarterback's going to be interesting because I think they are taking as much care as they can to get this right here off the bat. But if it doesn't go right, they probably have the chance to swap and put somebody else in, you know, after 3 or 4 games or 6 games, whatever it might be. And if you're doing that, that means the season's probably not going the way you want it to. So that'll be really interesting to keep an eye on.
And Dakota Wesleyan, they do have Dakota State, their usual opener, and it's been, I don't know, exciting opener throughout the year. It's been a very noteworthy opener. You really don't know what to expect. It's a Saturday this year, Saturday up in Madison, so you never know what you're going to get.
You truly don't.
Very odd.
They've played some weird games over the handful of years that I've been with the paper, and I don't know that this year's going to be any different.
I've seen Dakota State win 6-0. Last year was whatever 16-13, whatever the score was, or 13-10.
And with 100 yards of offense,
on the missed field goal.
Yeah, I've seen it be 41-38. I think in times in the past. So, I think what's interesting about this game is everything that's happened since the game last year. Dakota State only lost one more time in the season last year after they played Dakota Wesleyan. There's no question losing to DW spoiled their season. If they had one loss instead of two, probably would have been in the playoffs. So they are going to be extremely motivated to beat DW. And so that's scary, I think. DW is just really interesting. I thought, threw the ball better than they have in a very long time last season. Are they going to be able to continue that? The running game was a problem. They were not particularly strong there. Can they get that up and running? If they do, they have a chance of the offense being pretty good. But then defense, some new pieces in there. I think that'll be worth watching. I think they're probably, as usual, second half of the season, they're going to be a lot better. Are they going to be where they need to beat Dakota State, a top 20 team in the first game of the season? I think that's going to be really tough. But if they do, your season could be made in a lot of ways for DW. You have a chance at maybe a winning season if you beat Dakota State here right off the bat.
KORNer booth, we'll get to some FBS previews here. We have maybe some over-unders here if you want to guess. How many wins is this team going to have? How many wins is that team going to have? What is the official over-under here, Marcus? And maybe what intrigues you as far as, I think this team better than the experts think?
Well, yeah, I like an over-under or two to go with my college football season over the time. And, we're going to talk about who we might have in the playoff at some point. Let me also just say, as has been illustrated today, I love a college football preview.
Don't ever quit printing those.
The Phil Steele, I have to have it.
You got to need
year.
it in your hands.
I need it. So I don't mark it up, during the season, but I do need to have it in my hand at some point. I found this book at Barnes & Noble the other day that I'd never seen. The Mark Lawrence playbook preview.
Very similar.
It's got NFL and college in the same book. That was new to me. But I think Clemson was a team I identified as the over-under was 7.5. I think people were a little negative about old Dabo. Could see them winning more than 7.5 games. Notre Dame, it's just, are they going to lose a game? Their over-under is at 11.5. I don't think they are. I think they
have about one losable game.
They have a couple. They go to BYU, I think, and they play Miami on the road. Or
that's the one I think is losable. Yeah. I think they're going to beat BYU.
It's those two games. Oklahoma State was a team you mentioned. I think they're going to be much improved this year, potentially a bowl team. So that's a team to keep an eye on. Everybody's always hating on my Gophers and the over-under that I saw.
Break out the big jugs here.
Whoa. What did he say?
I think there's a great chance. I saw the Gophers at 5.5 wins. They're always being undersold. Will they get to a bowl game? I like their chances as well. Nebraska, 6.5, right? I think was the line I saw. I have it right here.
7.5.
Last year was the year.
6.5 here. Yeah. The schedule's difficult as usual.
It is like the sixth most difficult schedule in the country. Yeah. From what I saw.
Travis, any that jump out to you?
So that Clemson one. Clemson at 7.5, and this does include a playoff and bowl.
No, regular season, just the 12
only. Okay.
Yeah. Iowa State is another one that my guy Phil Steele picked Iowa State to finish last in the Big 12. Obviously, old guy Jimmy Rogers is leading that team. 4.5 was the number, and that means you can win 5 games, not go to a bowl game, and still cover that number. They have a tough schedule. They have some major question marks on the roster, but I think they can win 5 games.
I have Clemson at 10-2, and I think 9-3. I don't 7.5.
Yeah,
I don't see where they're getting 5 losses.
There's a lot on here right off. Like I haven't looked at this sheet until just this second. There's a lot on here that jump out to me instantly. Alabama over 8.5. I'm high on Alabama. Arizona over 7.5. I think Arizona is going to be one of the 4 best teams in the Big 12.
Really?
Yes. I'm big on Noah Fafita.
Oklahoma 7.5. Oklahoma 7.5.
I was about to say Oklahoma. Yeah. I have Oklahoma as a playoff team.
We talked the other day about Florida. They were at 7.5 as well.
I'm a pretty big Florida believer this year too. I really like John Sumrall. That's another big reason I like Arizona. I like I can't think
Kevin someone.
No, it's double B something Bennett.
Yeah. I'll find it.
Sorry,
Bo Bennett.
not quite.
Bill Bennett.
I've looked at a lot of college football stuff lately.
Brady Bennett.
Arizona's coach is Brent Brennan.
Brent Brennan. Yes, it is. There we go.
That's his third season. That's always usually a good sign. Year 3.
I've liked what he's done. Like, I thought it was an unenviable position to try to have to replace Jed Fish.
Yeah.
He's done, I think, really good job. Houston over 7.5. I think Houston's another
They're a sleeper.
top 4, top 5 Big 12 team. Really like that. Yeah, Florida over 7.5.
I don't know about that.
Their schedule's very tough.
It's a hard
Florida.
schedule, really hard schedule. But I
take
just
the under on that.
Tennessee's another one. Like, I know it's
Tennessee's the one I'm looking at. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you.
Vanderbilt's
this year.
like
over
what,
7.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Was their quarterback?
I don't know who their quarterback
Yeah,
is.
Vanderbilt.
Jared Curtis. He was the Georgia 5-star commit who flipped to Vanderbilt.
If you have any belief in Kentucky with Will Stein as their head coach,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a chance they could finish at the bottom, but I think I saw their number was like 4.5. I mean,
Another team that's in the similar vein to Kentucky, South Carolina. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the whole country in Lenora Sellers. If they can put it together, they're going to breeze past 6.5
and
wins.
some desperation because
because
Shane
Beamer is on the
hot
hottest
seat.
of seats right now.
I don't know what it is here, but LSU was one I was looking at of maybe the under. Do we think this says 8.5? I had seen a much higher number.
You know I'm high on
Somebody find
UCLA, so I think UCLA 6.5 is.
He's big on UCLA. He has. What were you? Go through their schedule and list out. he thought there was a chance they'd be like 10-1 or 9-1.
I said there is a world in which they're 9-1 heading into the last 2 years of the season.
There are worlds. Yes.
There's a team that has been mentioned that I like a whole hell of a lot. A whole hell of a lot. I have UCLA at 5-7.
Uh-huh.
Losses to Oregon. That I have them losing their last 4.
Yeah.
At Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, USC. They could beat Maryland. They could beat Cal. That's 7. They could beat Gophers. That's 8.
I think people are underrating the boost or the anticipated boost I have in my mind. Nico Iamaleava did not play bad down the stretch last year, and he's getting a really good head coach that has had success everywhere. Runs an offense that I think that team's going to run an offense that I think probably suits Iamaleava's skill set, and I just think that's going to be fun.
LSU's over-under is still 8.5. Yeah. I know a lot of people have kind of pegged them for the playoff. I don't know.
I have them as a fringe playoff team.
Is it going to go really well for Lane in the first year of him being there? We'll have to find out.
The problem, like the thing that you have to weigh, and of course it's not a secret, is they acquired an overwhelming amount of talent. Like, there's talent everywhere on that roster.
Yeah.
The problem is it's like 45 transfers, and does that click instantly? I don't know. But
I have 2 teams into the playoff. 12-team playoff, it's still 12.
Still 12.
I have 2 teams going into it at 13-0.
Okay.
One
Oregon?
of them is Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
I have Penn State at 13-0.
Jesus.
I don't think
Matt Campbell, really good. They upgraded coach.
Brought all of his players with.
They upgraded quarterback. They don't play Ohio State or Oregon.
Their schedule's very nice.
Or they play Indiana or Indiana.
Their schedule is really,
they do not
really
play the 3
soft.
best teams in the conference. They have at Michigan, at Washington. They should at minimum go 10-2.
I have Penn State going 10-2.
Losing at Michigan, at Washington.
I don't have the every game in front of me, but yeah, I think so.
With
all due
respect to both guys, because it's close. Like, it's not like it's not close in my mind. Rocco Becht's not better than Drew Aller.
Drew Aller is really bad. I'll give you maybe James Franklin's okay. He's had
Matt Campbell. When you win 9 or 10 games in a row, like every year for a decade at Penn State, that's more impressive.
I was going to say Iowa State.
No, that's more impressive than doing it at Iowa State. Matt Campbell's a really, really, really good football coach. I'm not ready to say he's better than James Franklin, because what has Matt Campbell accomplished that James Franklin hasn't?
He's not gotten fired.
I guess.
Yeah.
If I'm playing that game.
Like Matt Campbell, just kind of waiting for him to leave Iowa State all these years. Like, hey, where are you going to go?
People thought he was going to go to the Lions for a minute.
It's like, all right, I'm going to go to Penn State.
He did go to the Lions.
My biggest thing that I've done, and it's not.
And Drew Aller, I thought was just.
But if you take last year's Iowa State team and drop them in the Big Ten, which is
they do better than Penn State.
Yeah, they're not going to go 5 but are they going to go 13-0?
No, but again, the schedule, you don't play
Well,
Indiana.
What about the fact that if they go 12-0, then they're going to play probably
Indiana.
Ohio
State. I mean, you have them 10-2.
I do.
So it's not ridiculous to say they're 12-0. Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, the preseason.
Yeah. No, the schedule's soft.
I admit, and Marcus and I have talked at length about Penn State in our private conversations. We know the schedule's soft.
And that's part of it. And I think Iowa State pretty good for a long time. Matt Campbell, really good coach.
They're not private conversations if you bring them up here.
Are they gonna beat all
what do you
these
have
Big
them?
Ten?
What do you have them 10-2?
I had them 9-3.
9-3. USC, Michigan, Washington.
All right. So does everybody have? Is there anything else non-playoff related? Otherwise, we can get into.
Well,
who we have in the
I had
playoff.
this is where I had my quiz. If you wanted to, we can save it for the. It's basically
You got to close. This is a team quiz.
It is who they play for mostly.
Oh,
who they play for?
yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
There's a few that are like in true question form, and then we'll do some quick hitters that are. I picked out a few that I think are really fun. So yeah, I mean, you guys can have your material. I don't really care. As much as Mark Marcus is prepped, he's gonna ace this.
Don't ask him about Northwestern or anything.
That's right, or Arizona. Who Arizona's
Alrighty. Hopefully this goes over well. My first attempt at trivia, so cut me some slack. Alrighty, boys. This AP first team All-America running back was set to return to his SEC school this year, but now his start to the season has been delayed at the very least because he was shot in the leg. Who is that?
He's at Ole Miss, right?
No.
Is that Missouri?
Yeah.
Missouri.
Who is he?
Is it Gray? Ahmad
Hardy.
Ahmad Hardy.
Missouri.
Amon Green.
Yeah, you always got to be aware of the shot in the leg.
The shot in the leg.
It's it could come up every year.
Very common. It's very common.
Alrighty, this AP first team All-American receiver is back for his Big Ten school and has the number 1 Heisman odds among non-quarterbacks.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith.
Okay. I couldn't afford to get that one wrong.
Yeah. How about the reigning Big Ten offensive lineman of the year?
Yeah.
Is the lone consensus All-American back on either side of the ball?
Did he transfer?
No, he is back at his Big Ten school.
Oh.
Again, reigning Big Ten offensive lineman of the year.
Michigan always have guys. Indiana.
He is at Indiana.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Carter Smith.
Yeah,
I'm looking. I was looking.
I'll give you the school. You give me the name.
And how about this? This defensive back was a freshman All-American in 24. He was a unanimous All-American a year ago, and he's a projected top 10 pick in next year's draft.
I don't know.
Does he play for Miami?
He does not play for
He
Miami.
transferred from Minnesota to Oregon?
No.
I don't think he's a top 10 pick. Okay.
I don't know.
Miami's closer than Minnesota is.
SEC?
No.
ACC.
What if I told you he doesn't have a conference?
Oh, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
It's a Leonard Moore from Notre Dame.
Get to know him.
Alrighty. A couple more question form ones, and then we'll do the real quick hitters.
Oh.
How about this quarterback now in the Big... There's a theme here. This quarterback now in the Big 12 led the nation in passing yards last season. Who is it, and where did he go from?
North Texas to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Mestemaker.
Drew Mestemaker from North Texas
We love the Mean Green.
OK State.
to Oklahoma State. This running back now in the Big 12 led the nation in rushing yards last season. Who is it, and where did they go from and to?
North Texas to Oklahoma State.
No, but that'd be
okay.
good. I think that's rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you're not far off. Caleb Hawkins would
Texas Tech.
No. Good guess, though.
Utah. BYU.
Who he played
Not
for.
a top dog in the Big 12 is surprising.
Tell me Dion got a guy. That can't be right. I don't know. Kansas State.
TCU.
No, it is Cam Cook. Went from Jacksonville State to West Virginia.
West
Holy
Virginia.
buckets of beef.
And how about this receiver now in the Big 12? Led the nation in receiving yards last season. This one was the hardest one, I think, by far. Would not have got this one myself.
Went to Baylor.
He did not.
Arizona State.
No.
Arizona.
He was on to something with a negative comment in the last round.
Oklahoma State.
Dion got a guy.
Oh, Dion got it. Who
Colorado.
the hell are going to throw him the ball?
Danny Scudero.
Danny Scudero.
Look at the list.
from San Jose State.
Yikes.
He got two. He's got two. They're down to have two all-conference wide receivers at
He's
Colorado.
a quarterback.
Couldn't tell you.
What's it say?
Who is
Does it
Colorado's
say?
quarterback? Oh, they had, didn't they? They got a guy. Let me find this here. Yeah, this could be bad.
Is the guy who
I
sat
can't
part
believe
of
he's
last
got
year?
him. The Lewis, right? The Lewis guy from
Julian. Is it?
Yeah. And do they still have Julian Lewis? He's a redshirt freshman. They've got the guy who was, the coach at Sacramento State, Brennan Marion, now being the offensive coordinator.
The go-go.
So,
all right, here's our quick hitters. I'm gonna give you a guy
Who we play for?
in his old school. You gotta tell me.
Okay.
We'll start with quarterback. 4 quarterbacks. Sam Levitt, Arizona State.
now at LSU.
He's now at LSU.
Oh, that's right.
How about DJ Lagway from Florida?
Oh yeah, where did he go?
DJ Lagway.
Utah.
Is it an FBS?
Yes.
Or a power four?
I think all of these I'll ask about went from one
did
power
you say?
school to another.
I said Utah. That's not right, is it?
It is not, but it is in the Big 12.
Florida to Baylor.
Baylor.
That's going to be annoying.
He's going to be the Dave Aranda savior. How about Austin Simmons from Ole Miss? He got kicked out by Trinidad Chambliss.
He went to Missouri.
And he went to Missouri. How about the guy he replaces, Bo Prabula?
Oh, yeah.
Where did Bo Prabula go? From Penn State to Missouri to...
Big 12?
No. How about the ACC?
Florida.
Pitt.
Florida State.
No.
Not Clemson.
Arguably the best team in the ACC
Miami.
last year. I said
Arguably. Duke? I don't know.
You're getting close.
Georgia Tech.
Who did Duke play in the conference title game?
Georgia Tech? Duke? I don't know.
Oh, who they play in the
11-win Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Everyone forgets
Lord.
Virginia won 11 games a year ago.
Missouri to Virginia.
Also of note, this was not part of the quiz, Virginia's backup quarterback is Eli Holstein, the transfer from Pitt. So they landed 2 power conference transfer starters. Interesting, I thought. Justice, we're going to running back now, 4 running backs. Justice Haynes from Michigan. Where is he at now?
Oh, obviously Ohio State.
NC State.
No, you're close.
North
ACC is
North
correct.
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Wake Forest.
App State.
How about Georgia Tech?
Georgia
Went
Tech.
from Michigan to Georgia Tech.
Everybody else was like a step up. Or like, yeah, you don't have a job anymore. So you're going to Baylor.
How about Hollywood Smothers from North Carolina State?
Smothers Brothers?
Dude, these next 2 guys,
Oregon
names. Hollywood Smothers.
LSU.
I
Oregon.
definitely saw it. I don't remember.
Ohio State.
How about the University of Texas?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood
It had to be a
Smothers.
big school.
He's going to be, we'll hear about him.
And how about Turbo Richard from Boston College?
What conference?
Big Ten.
Michigan.
Big 10.
He's Michigan.
Indiana.
Michigan
wishes.
Indiana.
It's
Turbo.
Indiana.
He'll be the guy that nobody's ever heard of. Hey.
And the one more close to home. How about Abu Sama III from Iowa State? I'll say this, one of the Iowa State guys who did not go to Penn State.
That's a stunner.
I instantly discounted anybody
Notre
who
Dame.
would have
Notre
qualified for this list that
Notre
went to Penn
Dame.
State.
Ohio State.
I don't know.
A big one. A big one. Georgia. I don't know. Texas. No.
Oklahoma.
Oregon.
State in the Big Ten.
From Iowa State.
From Iowa State in the Big Ten, and
Iowa.
he did not go.
Iowa.
He did not go to
Oh,
Penn State.
Indiana.
No,
Indiana got
He
a
went
lot
to
of guys.
Wisconsin.
Oof,
Oh.
bad choice, buddy. Bad choice.
I mean,
Why do you
that's,
go to Penn
that's
State
kind,
for?
that's
Why'd you
kind
go
of
to Penn
running back
State?
university in a way.
Oh, he's a running back. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the end of your list?
This is no
Running back.
wide receivers.
Receivers?
Receivers. Cam Coleman from Auburn.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I think that was a.
That's a big
How about Nick Marsh from Michigan State?
Florida.
Ohio State.
I don't know.
State and Conference.
Michigan.
Penn State.
Indiana.
Indiana. He's gonna
Indiana signs all the guys.
catch some passes from Josh Hoover, who did not make this list because I thought it was too easy.
Yeah.
How about Isaiah Horton, the receiver from Alabama? I think he's the one who caught the 4th and 31 miracle touchdown against
Texas A&M.
He did go to Texas. Wow, I did not know that was going to get
I
got.
saw that
but-
just before this.
And how about Parker Livingstone from Texas?
He's in the SEC, isn't he?
LSU.
Mhm.
Auburn.
He's a real traitor. He hopped the Red River. He's
A&M.
going to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. All right, good.
There's no loyalty anymore.
From Texas to Oklahoma, Parker Livingstone. This isn't then 4 more. not players this time. It's coaches.
Okay.
Interesting new coaches.
Jim Rogers.
Who's the new coach of K-State?
Colin Klein.
Colin Klein.
Yeah. Former Heisman Trophy finalist Colin Klein. How about James Madison after they got rid of Bob Chesney?
Who's guy from the West Coast? Wasn't it a West Coast guy?
They got Billy Napier.
They got Billy Napier.
It's a strange culture.
Sun Belt Billy returns.
Wow.
With a vengeance. South Florida.
Alex Golish.
No, he was the coach. He's now at Auburn.
Good old Goulash. South Florida, I don't know.
They got a guy though.
Charlie Strong.
Yeah, all these are like notable guys that you're gonna know the name.
Gus Malzahn.
Our guy Gus, he gave it up.
He gave it up. He's done.
Oh, damn it, Gus.
Receivers coach from
Brian Hartline. Yeah.
Oh. Brian Hartline. And
should ask these in January.
Last one. Who took the Colorado State job?
One of the guys from Oregon, right? No.
This I did not remember this.
Where did he come from? Did he get fired?
I have to assume he definitely didn't.
Yeah,
didn't
I
get
just
fired.
came across it. Yeah, he left. Yeah, he left.
He has a very famous coaching lineage.
Yeah, he left UConn.
He left UConn.
Charlie Weiss.
No.
Jim Mora.
Jim Mora.
That was weird.
That was a weird one.
That was a weird
And
one.
like part of his pitch was like, they're going to be in the Pac-12. It's like,
whoa,
no, man,
wow.
that's not it.
No.
And then the last question, I'm sure Marcus has this since he's the gambling expert. Who's the preseason Heisman favorite? I looked this up yesterday.
Yeah.
Who's the preseason Heisman favorite?
Not Jeremiah Smith?
No. I feel like this
Julian Sayin is Julian
He's way
Sayin.
up there.
I feel
Dante Moore.
No. I feel like in the last month, this has kind of become...
It's not Arch Manning.
He's become the guy.
He's number 2.
And it's because people think...
This team's going to be really good.
This team's going to be really good. They're going to be 12-0. His granddad was the coach at Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
My granddaddy.
My granddaddy.
It's C.J. Carr, the quarterback for
Notre Dame. I'm not going.
Okay,
and so that's your
good.
in
Quiz.
10 minutes. That's what you need to know about college football.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
CJ
follow
Carr.
up. Speaking of the odds, Heisman Trophy odds.
Okay.
Our guy, Lincoln Keenholz,
Jesus.
going to be the quarterback at Louisville.
Yeah.
What do you think his odds are
it's like
for the Heisman?
150 to 1.
Plus
It's like
10.
plus 15,000.
Plus
right?
10,000.
He is 70 to 1.
Is it?
I saw 75 to 1 yesterday as well.
That's way shorter than I think.
I think it's the idea that I think
I don't know if
Louisville
he's
could
gonna
have a
be
very
good.
good year, and if they have a very good year, it could be because of him. So,
well, and I mean, to his credit, I think he picked a really good destination.
Jeff Brom
has a history of doing really good things with quarterbacks. You know, if you can't succeed with Jeff Brom as your kind of quarterback whisperer, maybe
I've got him at
maybe things weren't meant to work
6-6. Maybe that's probably too low.
No, they're going to be.
They got Ole Miss and SMU in the non-conference.
If they beat Ole Miss right off the bat,
SMU's in their conference.
It's a non-conference game.
Yeah,
is it really?
We're talking about.
No, it is a conference game.
Oh yeah.
How is that? I was about to say.
No, it is.
Well, I do remember that Virginia and NC State famously played in the
North Carolina and North Carolina State basketball playing a non-conference game this year.
That's funny.
They play once in conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, SMU, Ole Miss, Florida State.
But
they could go like 8-4.
There's a world where they like catch Ole Miss napping week 1, and their only other tough game is that SMU game, and they get it at home.
Yeah. We didn't even mention the best guy to transfer. You mentioned it yesterday.
Oh, I say, a quiz. Does he know this?
I don't know if he does.
Georgia Southern has a new quarterback.
7th-year quarterback.
You've heard of him.
He's 20,
I guarantee you've heard of him.
25 years old.
7th year.
He was with North Carolina last year. Max Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Brad Johnson's son, who is now 25 years old.
I don't even know if he
Okay.
I guess he was with North Carolina last year.
He was. He played.
Yeah.
He got hurt right away.
Yeah.
He went to LSU, went to A&M, went to Carolina, got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to Georgia Southern for a 7th year. 7th year.
All right. Since we're pulling rabbits out of the hat, I got one more for you.
Oof.
You can't talk because I think you know the answer to this.
Who,
We've seen
me?
a lot. Yeah. We've seen a lot about Akron football online because they ran this contest where they're allowing a random season ticket holder to call their first drive of the season. I think that's a really cool idea, by the way.
It's incredibly disrespectful.
It's how you know you're
Robert
serious,
Morris.
you're a serious program.
It's
It's how you
disrespectful
know-
to Robert Morris, but yeah.
Absolutely. Who is going to be the quarterback on that drive for the Akron Zips?
I don't know.
There is some very minor tangential connection to football in this area, FCS football in this area.
Oh yeah,
Aiden Bauman.
we talked about this. He has no chance of getting this.
What is the connection?
He played the Jacks. He played a national semifinal in this state.
Was it like a 56-0 loss?
Yeah,
it basically was.
Was it? Who was it? Who
in
they
the
play?
snow?
They played Albany. Reese Poffenbarger from Albany,
the guy
who has gone from Albany,
boom.
to Miami to North Texas.
Yeah,
and he's now set to be, I believe, the starting quarterback for the Akron Zips.
Yeah.
Went to Florida or went to Miami and got beat out by
Cam Ward.
And then transferred to North Texas, got beat out.
Bad choices wherever he goes.
By Drew Mestamaker.
Well, I think he probably got paid nicely to go to Miami, even though he didn't get to start.
Whoops. I'm gonna go to North. Whoops.
And now he's an Akron Zip.
Yikes.
So there you go.
Very good. I've got Georgia, Penn State 1-2.
That's crazy.
I've got
Penn State is crazy work, but okay.
Get me in on that. I've got Texas with a loss. I've got Indiana with a loss. I've got Oregon with a loss.
You believe in Texas? This is surprising.
I've got Notre Dame, so I got 4 one-loss teams.
I have 2 undefeated teams. I have Oregon and I have Notre Dame.
I have 2 undefeated teams. I have Notre Dame and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I had Texas undefeated going into the SEC championship game, getting beat by Georgia.
Yep.
So they'll both be 12-1 going to the playoff. I have Indiana 11-2.
I had Ohio State undefeated into the Big Ten championship game and getting beat by Oregon.
I have Ohio State missing the playoff. And I have 9-3.
Whoa.
Who are you? Okay, big SEC. We all like Georgia. Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Big Ten. I like Penn State. You like Marcus likes Oregon
to win the Big Ten.
Yeah, Big Ten title.
Oregon.
2 Oregons and a Penn State. Big 12.
Texas Tech.
BYU.
I had Utah.
Yeah, I had Utah playing BYU in the.
I have Utah, and then Notre Dame at 11-1.
I have a 12-0.
I think I have LSU, my first team out. LSU and Alabama 10-2, both miss out. It's a stiff competition.
I have Oklahoma as my first team out, and I have Louisville just out as well, and Ohio State.
So would Louisville be your one dark horse team that's never made it before?
Never made the playoff. I would have USC. I have USC at 10-2.
More so than Louisville.
Yes, I have them.
Okay.
I have them 8 in my.
Okay, you
want me to go through my playoff here?
Sure.
Since we have it. So I have on the first weekend.
Your top 4.
My top 4. I have Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Texas 3, BYU 4, and then I have Alabama 5, Notre Dame 6. That was the thing where I have.
You got to move it.
I have Notre Dame undefeated. They're going to be higher than 6. I don't know why this. For the people that are listening, if you're still listening, God bless you. But
God bless them.
This was from, what was it, Pro Football Network? You can go in there and you can go in there and you can pick every game in the regular season and it will kick out a playoff for you. So we all did that, and that's where this is coming from. Indiana 7, USC 8, Miami 9, Florida 10, Clemson 11.
Florida?
Yes, I have Florida getting in. And I
Holy buckets.
I have Boise State.
Dude, I'm kind of
my 12th.
I'm low-key kind of high on Florida, too.
Yeah.
I guess I do need a representative.
So you filled this out. It should give you
902 games.
So it should give you
Boise State is my 12. So Miami my 11. So yeah. You have a national, you have a semifinal.
I have Oregon over Alabama, that's 1/5, and I have Notre Dame over Georgia, that's a 6/2. And in the national championship game, in part because I know who Landon had as his national champion when we talked about it a couple days ago, I have Notre Dame over Oregon.
Oh. You have Oregon winning, perhaps.
So my playoff seeds in order are Georgia, Oregon, Ohio. I finagled this a little to my own because I had the same thing as Marcus where I have Notre Dame undefeated, but it didn't put them in the top 4. I think they'd be
their schedule is good enough this year that they will be highly ranked.
If they go undefeated with wins over Miami and BYU, I think they'll be a top 4.
Yeah.
So I finagled this a little. Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then my at-larges or, I guess
no bye.
Yeah, no bye in order. Indiana, Texas, Miami, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Alabama. Boise State's my 12. My last 2 teams, I didn't like the way it seeded. The last two I came down to was LSU and Michigan.
Mm.
I kind of think I would rather have Michigan in, but it had LSU, but they were right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
For what it's worth, I think that team loses right away anyway. But so then I have Indiana over Boise State, Texas over LSU, Michigan, whatever, Miami over Bama, and Oklahoma over Tech. And then in the quarters, Georgia over Oklahoma, Notre Dame over Indiana, Oregon over Miami, and Texas over Ohio State. So my final four is Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas. I have Notre Dame over Georgia, Oregon over Texas, and I have Oregon over Notre Dame in the national championship.
Wow, we had the same national championship game. So the problem with what I had was I have Notre Dame beating BYU, but for whatever reason, it still had BYU over them in the rankings.
Like Notre Dame ninth.
That's not going to happen.
Ninth.
Yeah, I mean Notre Dame's going to be higher than that. So
you got to do some.
There was a version of I did two versions because I thought the first version was very, very wonky. The first one I had BYU and I had them losing. I had them losing twice, and somehow they still made the playoff. I'm like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Without winning the conference.
Yeah, like they lost
Texas.
I think I had them losing to Utah or something in the regular season, then losing in the Big 12 title game to Tech. And I'm like, if they're 10-2 or 11, I guess that would be 11-2, wouldn't it? But I just don't see them getting in.
What do you got?
Now he's rethinking everything.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Last year, not getting in. Favorable schedule. There's some motivation there.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
And they're really good.
And they're good.
They're good.
Yeah.
I like Indiana and Notre Dame championship. Rematch from 2 years ago.
Jeez, light the state of Indiana.
Where is the national championship this year? Is it in Vegas?
It's in Indianapolis.
It should be in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Texas. I don't know. Georgia.
Well, this is.
I mean, Georgia.
I don't want to blow up your spot, but
I don't have a spot. I just
every year you got one or two teams in the top 10 that fall apart. So right now your top 10, Ohio State, which I guess that would be my team. I don't have Ohio State making the playoff, but Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame's 4, Texas is 5. You could see it getting south for Texas.
Where's A&M?
A&M is 8.
Yes, no.
They're not. I don't have them. And Ole Miss is 9. I'm kind of down on Ole Miss too. They do have the quarterback back. That's helpful.
I love Trinidad Chambliss. I don't like Ole Miss's. I don't like Ole Miss's schedule. I don't like their schedule.
Their schedule's really hard.
Their schedule's really hard, especially because we were talking about this over a couple of beverages last weekend. Let's just not even count their first game against Louisville.
I've got them 9-3.
Okay, let's not even entertain that first game against Louisville for a second, which I do think is kind of a trap game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At Texas, at Oklahoma.
They host LSU in obviously a game that they're going to get up for.
I think they're winning that one.
If they win that one, I'm going to book them to lose the next week at Florida in like a letdown spot.
Yeah.
In the inverse of that, if they lose to LSU, I think they'll beat Florida. But I think one of those two games,
1-1,
they are going to lose. Then they have to go. You're telling me they have to go to Texas and to Oklahoma?
I got them losing.
And they host Georgia.
Those are the three
I think
losses.
they're going to lose at least 2 of those 3 games.
When I was doing this, I had them flirting with 500 midway through the season because they have a really hard schedule. And I'm high on Louisville, and I think Louisville can win that game to start the season.
I like what they did in the playoffs. Just your coach,
that was great.
High and dry. The guy just takes over and it's like boom. Our quarterback is back.
Can you sustain that momentum through an entire offseason? I think they were lifted in the moment by the fact that they had this guy that they could rally around. And I'm not going to pass any judgment on Golding as a coach when he hasn't ever coached a regular season game. He very well might be a very good coach. But that boost that they got for the playoffs last year, it's just not going to be there. It's going to just all come down to how good the team is. And so, okay, I have them right there with 4 losses, and we haven't even factored in, again, that first game, which I think Louisville can beat them. I really do.
Where's that at? I can't be at it.
Nashville.
That Atlanta?
I think it's in Nashville.
That's a Sunday game?
Music City kickoff. It's in Nashville.
Old Miss, they beat Tulane. That was easy. They beat Georgia. They almost beat them in the regular season. So that was a really good matchup. A lot of offense in both of those games, and they almost beat Miami in the semis. So I like that. Their coach is back. That led them to that Georgia win and to the semis. Quarterback is back, and that was a question. Yeah, they've got a tough schedule here. They at Texas, at Oklahoma, Georgia. Can you can't get swept there. You got to win at least one of those games. LSU, it's at home. They're just going to go nuts. It's a tough schedule.
I get it. But we already talked. LSU's really talented. You're telling me that LSU has no shot to win that game?
No, that'll be the game of the year.
Mississippi is at home and only favored by 1.5.
Yeah, that's your early.
So that means on a neutral field, LSU's the better team.
Lane, does that work out? Lane Kiffin, I think working out means like you have to win a national title because that is why you got him here. Like,
well, I don't know that they're going to win a national title. I think they're going to be very good.
Semifinal.
I'm not talking this year, but
within his run, like
I'd be more surprised if they don't. I think just because he's proven to get just top level talent no matter where he's at, and now he's at a place that like
has resources.
Is going to just spend out the wazoo to get the best players in the country. They're going to, let's be real here. I have them as a fringe playoff team right now.
I have them 9-3, just missing.
They're going to be in the conversation probably this year.
Yeah. With
an off season of kind of, half up in the air.
And let's remember that Sam
2 years from now when they're like set, and we said he's made Ole Miss into one of the best programs we're talking about Ole Miss being good because of what Lane Kiffin did.
Mm-hmm. Sam Leavitt was in the playoff 2 years ago, right? That was with Arizona State. So, and then he was hurt last year. Is that what it was? Or
he was hurt and playing, which
he played half the year, and
he didn't look great. But that was, I think, a product of the fact that he was playing hurt.
So I don't know that I'm a massive Sam Leavitt fan, but he's definitely. He has a great chance of stabilizing what they're up to. So
I feel like Lane Kiffin, like it's always, Lane Kiffin, and it's always
it's messy because it's Lane Kiffin. It's like always messy with him.
He went to the Raiders, went to Tennessee, and then had to work his way back. And then,
this is the other thing. He can't ever stay at a job for more than a couple years. So is he going to stay at LSU?
He was at Ole Miss for 7 years, I think.
That's true.
Let's be 6 or 7 years.
But Ole Miss was always like, they're close. They're 10-2. They're, they'd beat Alabama and then they lose to somebody. It'd be like, you're right there.
That's the reason he left to go to LSU.
There. And that's pretty much, I agree with Marcus. I think it was a product more of not necessarily.
He always fell one game short.
But to me, it always felt like at Ole Miss, when you're talking about an SEC, a modern SEC, where there is the added element of Texas and Oklahoma, on top of the fact that you play Georgia and LSU and Alabama and Florida, Florida, if they're good,
the conference is really tough.
He was punching above his weight and coming up pretty close. Now that he's at a place where he's going to want
last year.
He's going to want for nothing. He's going to want for nothing at LSU.
Well, I don't know about that. He's Lane Kiffin. He's going to want.
I guess that's fair.
Last year, they were the Ole Miss. You could make the case they were the best team in the SEC last year. They beat Georgia in the playoff.
Yeah.
And they lost to them by 8 at Georgia. That's the only team they lost to all year was Georgia.
And they got their quarterback back. Yeah. And they have their running back back. They have a lot.
They beat LSU when they were 4th at the time, but they had a favorable schedule. They beat Oklahoma. They beat LSU. Those were their 2 good wins. And then they beat the team that beat them in Georgia. Last year, the 2 best teams in the SEC were Georgia and Ole Miss. Texas wasn't. Oklahoma wasn't.
You can't tell me that you're the best team in the SEC and you don't play for the SEC championship.
The champion, I don't,
That means you didn't have one of the top 2 records.
With the way the schedules are, Miami, not the best in the ACC.
See, but that was because of the ACC's just
it's stupid,
catastrophic tiebreaker.
I didn't know the conference title game with,
Can I change the subject?
Sure. Yeah. Well, to what?
Something that I was told I should maybe, when I was thinking of teams to pick to maybe make the playoff.
Oh, we had somebody was from St. Cloud maybe telling you what to do?
The pride of Sartell. Yeah. And he said Navy.
Yeah.
And I was kind of I'm not sure about that.
I think they have the 3rd best group of 6 odds.
You look at their schedule, 82nd toughest in the country. They play Notre Dame.
And that's it.
And you
got to run the table. You got to run the table.
It's boring radio, but Towson, Florida Atlantic, that's UAB, tough. Air Force, Tulsa, UTSA could be kind of tough. North Texas, Temple, Memphis, Charlotte, Army. Army on December 12th. I would love if they have to hold up the playoff.
That's my dream of this. Or they just say the game doesn't even count. Like, play it, we got to move on.
Because they'd have the conference title game before that.
Yes, that's crazy.
Who'd you have as your group of 6?
Boise.
I had Boise.
You all had Boise?
We all had Boise?
I really wanted to have like UNLV or New Mexico, but I just couldn't justify it.
I've got James in my final one, UNLV with 1.
In my final ranking, Boise was 21 and 22 was Memphis.
Yeah.
And so until I picked literally the last game of the whole thing, it was Memphis in my...
I think I had Boise 1 slot ahead of UNLV was how that went. So
you know what I really want to do?
Yeah.
Put North Dakota State in the playoff.
They just play too many of their tough games on the road, man.
I got them at 10-2.
I don't think
UNLV and New Mexico.
I think there's a world in which they're going to be really good, but man, with just... I don't know how good the quarterback is going to be because I've never seen him play. And that just worries me. That, I understand they're a quarterback factory, but that combined with the fact, I mean, they all...
You're a quarterback factory until you're not.
Oh,
yeah, sorry. You know. But like, when you've put 4 or 5 consecutive quarterbacks in the NFL at the FCS level for that whole run,
pretty good.
That's pretty unbelievable. And gotta put a lot of respect on that. So like, this Hayes kid might end up being very good.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just haven't seen him play. And isn't he a senior? So like, this is going to be his one shot. So that maybe that actually bodes in his favor. But when you have a completely new quarterback in completely new surroundings for them, and those, I mean, their 4 most difficult games, none of them are in the Fargo Dome.
Yep.
I just can't see them winning all of them. I think I'd struggle to see them winning 3 of them too.
Their road games at Air Force, at Sac State, at UNLV, at New Mexico, at Hawaii, at San Jose State.
And so, of course, I was talking about...
I'm just listed on
Yeah, I was talking about Air Force, New Mexico, Hawaii, and Las Vegas. Yeah,
I got 10-2. Vegas.
I think I had them at 8-4.
If you go to, or if you look at some of the places that are nearby, they don't even have North Dakota State listed on there. Because I was looking at them like I'd consider it, and funny. They didn't even, and they don't have them. They don't have odds for them to make the playoff. I mean, it's just disrespectful. Yeah, it's disrespectful, flat out. It's funny, but it's disrespectful.
UTSA maybe Roadrunners.
UTSA, they're an interesting one.
That AAC, that's just a
could be
the
UTSA.
AAC winner is always a
Navy,
Memphis,
a good football San Antonio, Army, just
South Florida.
Get me in on
like
that.
I don't know if they'll do it.
Yes, I got 10-2.
Year 1 under Heartline, but they're going to be good.
Very good.
Like
you like Oregon over Notre Dame, Landon.
In the
on the American, I had my first version of this.
You had 4-10-2.
I had East Carolina in the playoff, and I didn't. I backed off of it, but they are picked 4th.
Don't they start with Alabama?
Yeah, they well, don't worry about that one. Win the American,
or win that one,
I was wondering if maybe he had them beating Alabama.
They do play Alabama in the first game. They could be out of it 3 games in. They play Alabama, App State, Old Dominion. Those
are 3 good teams.
I mean, they should beat Old Dominion, but that's on the road.
I think Old Dominion has the second best odds to win the Sun Belt.
They're not bad.
East Carolina also has a stretch in the middle of their season: Thursday, Saturday, Friday.
NFL type schedule.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go. I'm just going to go Indiana, Notre Dame. So Indiana again.
Yeah. Indiana.
We all have Notre Dame.
We are underrating
Signetti. Goddamn Signetti. What a unbelievable.
Is there any? I have them in my playoff, but is there any doubt they're going to be like 11-1?
Yeah, they're great.
Well, I forget what we've said on the pod and what we haven't. Josh Hoover,
really good.
Just in terms of the quarterback position, I would have said Josh Hoover is a better quarterback than Fernando Mendoza.
He's 15-1 right now.
And Fernando Mendoza won the dang Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
Like what Mendoza did at Cal compared to what Hoover did at TCU, I would tend to favor Hoover and what he accomplished. I mean, he can spin it. And I think Signetti has been very coy about it. He said nothing super specific, I don't think, about Josh Hoover. But when asked about, having to change the quarterback, he said things to the degree of, we're going to be just fine at quarterback. He knows what he's got. And I think Josh Hoover might be in for a massive season.
What I think is interesting with these Heisman odds, Dante Moore, I mean, he dang near got in the draft last year. He's at 11-1. Julian Sayin, Ohio State quarterbacks have done all right. He's 13-1. Then you go a little further down, John Mateer, 25-1. Jaden Mayava, who I think USC is going to have a good year, 25-1.
Both those right there. I mean, teams that pass more than run, usually.
If Lenore Sellers saves his coach's job 40-1, and Drew Mestermaker, I just find this funny, 50-1.
For the
He's
dude
ahead of Rocco Becht. Don't tell me about Rocco Becht. Talk to me about Drew Mestermaker. That's what I say.
For the dude that led the NCAA in
And
passing.
Speaking of a guy I don't want to hear from, but he I believe he's at Boise State, right? Bear Bachmeyer.
No, that's
He's at
BYU.
BYU. I get confused because he was at Boise, wasn't he?
No, Hank
was.
is,
I don't want to hear about this family again. I don't want to hear about him. I do have BYU in the playoff. That's problematic. But
college football preview. One team did we mention them slightly. They're not in my playoff, but I think I'd have to put them in. Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to have a really good year.
Just a garbage conference, obviously. And they start at LSU, and then they've got Miami at home. Other than that, I mean,
people are so down on Clemson, and it's like they're going to come back.
Were they 8-4 last year? Well, I mean, what were they?
Were they?
And if let's be honest, like
7-5,
if they have their stuff buttoned up, if LSU first game new coach doesn't have it buttoned, they could win that game.
Yeah,
but it's
at LSU, which nobody ever wins there.
At night.
7.
Yeah,
at night.
It's a night game.
Don't love that.
And Miami, we'll see what they do. Quarterback, Miami, Clemson.
It's tough for me to gauge, but I would say that Clemson's going to have a fine year. I think they're probably like closer to the 5th best team in the ACC than the first.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I tend to think it's some. I think it's
SMU.
I think it's Miami, Louisville, SMU. Again, I'm not saying it because I believe it, but like they just did it. Virginia, they won 11 freaking games last year.
Yeah. I'll be watching.
And they upgraded the quarterback.
I'll be watching the CW to see how the ACC does. So,
Penn State. I'm going to be all in on Penn State. All my chips.
I'm sorry to hear that.
All on Penn State.
I understand why you've done what you've done.
We'll keep track. Of Penn State.
Man,
I like the coach. I like the quarterback. I liked Iowa State a whole lot last year, and that worked out for a little bit, and then I didn't. So.
Yeah.
So college football preview. SDSU, USD, MitchellRepublic.com. We ran the gamuts.
We did.
The gamut has been run. So we got Mitchell football. We'll be back every week talking football.
Packed show this week. My God.
We went the distance.
Wagner facilities.
Yeah.
It's an A+.
It's an A+.
An A+.
Why?
Press box, good space. Lots of what should be the criteria?
Power, space, clear window to see out of.
Easy access to power.
Space. Do you have space? It comfortably fit 2 people. Space. Are you by yourself? Yes, you're not in a room by yourself. There's a divider, but you really can't hear anybody else. So, a 5 out of 5 on space, a 5 out of 5 on being isolated. The view, I would put maybe at 4.5 because you can't quite see the one end zone if you're just sitting dead center. The scoreboard, which I've not seen, 50-yard line.
I believe them and Lyman are the 2 in our area that have the scoreboard at the 50.
Why is the scoreboard on the ends?
Well,
so you have to look one way or the other.
It's very inconvenient for one team's bench if you have it behind their bench.
It's always behind the visitor's bench. That's the home field, so you have to look up.
But I don't know if Landon noticed
very
it.
Good.
But at Bonhomme, they have the scoreboard in the corner, but then they have the clock on the press box so the team on the other side can see how much time's left.
It's not
because the team on the other side is Bonhomme.
Yeah.
And it's not a very fancy scoreboard.
No, it's the basics.
No, Wagner's got a great turf field. Mm-hmm. They got a great grandstand and press box. Looks professional. They had air conditioning. Just incredible. I've never been to.
They have great facilities at Wagner all the way around.
Access to power. Did you have to run a power?
They had cords for you. They had cords for you. They had Ethernet cords for you.
My goodness!
Like this looks like a AAA.
That's a 6 out of 5.
Better than Sioux Falls.
You get treated better at Wagner than you do at Howard Wood Field.
I've never been to a football facility that's had all that stuff.
So he knocked him a half point for the view, but you get
that's
a bonus.
The only
you
thing.
get a bonus point for the Ethernet.
We get there. They say, hey, you want burgers, you want brats. Go down there, get whatever the hell you want. It's free. We didn't, unfortunately.
It's free.
But I'm like, thank you. Great hospitality.
This guy said no to a brat. He had double the brat.
I had to. Wasn't my choice. Wasn't my choice.
He said double the brat at
Insanity, amateur base.
At the amateur baseball
championship.
Yeah.
So, ease to get to, down and over.
Yeah.
You go 30, 40 miles south.
Even-
Now you're just describing where Wagner's
Well,
at.
even with
Yes,
all the road
50
construction down there, right?
Yeah, they had some construction in Wagner, but how
Lots.
to get there? Watertown, a pain to get to. You go interstate, it takes you 2 hours.
Yeah.
So ease, I mean, I don't see anybody
We'll
or
start-
anything.
Talk to Clint. Do some area games of the week.
We did, yeah.
Give up
I
Mitchell.
was down there. We'll see. So Wagner, A+ for Wagner. We've got Parks in the next 2 weeks. Parks in Platte Geddes, then Parks in the next week as well. So
Platte Geddes has a great crow's nest.
Parkson's
Two
very
of them.
good.
Parkson,
Hanson's very good.
Hanson. I would say Weston Springs has a pretty solid press box.
I've not been there.
And then Mount Vernon, not a bad setup there. We got
I've
some
been
good
to Salem. Mitchell's good.
Mm.
So
small.
we'll talk about Mitchell next week. That's where I'm not going to be there, but we'll talk about it anyway. So
You're abandoning ship.
have you ever seen a concert at the Corn Palace Festival? What have you seen for work, for fun?
A couple of years ago, I saw Scotty McCreery
Oh, yes.
there. So
Landon. Ever, never?
No,
Good.
Lived in Mitchell my whole life. I've never
Good.
been to.
that was the first time. I guess I have. I saw Hairball the one time I was there for work,
Oh.
which everybody loves Hairball. But so this will be a first for you.
Yeah, Andy Grammer, Friday night.
Yep.
We'll be there. So,
Hope it's a good show.
yes. It will. We've seen him twice. It'll be great.
Oh, he's good. I
For
mean,
Marcus, for Landon, for Travis, that's me. College football extravaganza. It has been the Corner Booth Podcast.